feeling like I'm Akademiks. Can't ride no
Holy. So, FaZe Clan is in shambles, y'all. It's in shambles. I want to explain to the casuals, and I do want, if when people watch this in the future, no matter if it's by anyone else who might be more familiar with my content, and probably say, you usually don't cover streamer drama. That's true. I don't. We try to cover mainly hip-hop culture. That's kind of like our niche. But, oftentimes, and especially now when shit is in, we will cover some politics, some sports, and even right now, some streamer drama, right? So let me explain these things. And if you are into these streamer drama topics, allow me to introduce this topic by laboriously explaining some of the things that you already know. So FaZe Clan is an organization, historical organization. You might have seen this logo somewhere. It was a original Call of Duty clan that was it Counter-Strike or was it Call of Duty? I think it was Call of Duty that got founded like right when the internet era of gamers were really like starting to pop off, and not even for streaming at the time, but they were popping off, and it was like more of a competitive thing. It turned later into a content thing, and through the rise of streamers who weren't even gamers, FaZe Clan has had its ups and downs where you had a bunch of members. Listen, I always told y'all one of the reasons, actually not one of the reasons, the reason, right? The reason why I bought my R8, I remember looking for a car to buy, and FaZe Rain R8, like he had this R8. And I remember he had two R8s. And this is how long ago this was. And I remember I was like, oh, this is such a cool fucking car. But FaZe Rain, these were like one of the original YouTubers. They were really good at gaming, and they were like making a lot of money. And, there's a lot of people who are gamers. And people were like, yo, these guys are dope, So at the end of the day, this organization exists. It kind of like dies down a bit during the Fortnite era. They had like Tfue, this and third, but essentially people realized they didn't need that organization anymore to be successful. Also, a lot of people that were successful happened to not be gamers. FaZe happened to get sold. Corporate came in. I remember there was like this rumored $50 million purchase or deal that were essentially, just imagine you and your homies call yourself, I don't know, Chat Clan, right? You and 5 of your homies that play video games. It's turned to be $1 million thing. Everybody's popping in the content space. And then a couple years later, a company wants to come in and invest and buy into what you guys got going on. So your friend group turns into a corporate business. At that point, it happens for a while, but everything changes when corporate gets in the mix, right? Everything becomes about contracts, deals, sponsorships. We got to have things scheduled when you used to be motivated, right? When you used to be motivated by strictly, you were motivated by, oh, these are my homies I'm chilling with. Now it's more of a commercial. We need to make revenue. Oh, we have bosses to answer to. We have these people who are invested. Again, sometimes doing content, you say dumb shit. You might make a mistake. Now everything is costly because there is a lot of money on the line. So, a lot of people left FaZe Banks. And if you guys don't know who this guy is, FaZe Banks. He's one of the founding members of FaZe Clan. Right? This is him. He's kind of known, and he is synonymous with being almost the leader, the big brother of the group. Okay? He's an original FaZe member, but he was like one of the guys who kind of took more to, he was a gamer at first, but like he took more to like the business side, this and third. It's kind of like seen as like almost the leader. He became so successful in the content space that eventually over time, he bought FaZe Clan back after Faze Clan sold to the corporate people who kind of like, they ran it through the mud. The brand kind of like just became not cool anymore. He bought it back and tried to bring some semblance of, authenticity and try to bring it back to where the fans love the creators once again. Because the company turned it into a workshop. It was like literally, it was on some OVO sweatshop shit. It was like, yo, we're going to have full-time streamers there. We're going to be doing this. And it was just so corporatized that people were like, yeah, this is not cool, right? Now, Faze Clan, so they recruited a bunch of people. They recruited a bunch of people. And let me show you the people they recruited in 2024. They recruited these guys. Okay? Now, these guys right here, some of you might know some of these creators. I think this is Lacey. Okay. All right. They're doing the most. Jesus with the ads. Oh, my God. Dexterity. Let's see you trying to make some money. Holy. You got Lacey over here. I'm starting from the left. Lacey, Silky, Rage. I believe this is Jason. I don't know who this guy is. Max. I think this is Ron. I know this guy, but I'm forgetting his name. And yeah, anyway. And then you see Banks in the back. All right. Why is this important? Because with the exception, in my personal opinion, I don't know everything, but I'm trying to just give y'all the regular man. I'm not too much in the streaming community breakdown. I don't believe, with the exception of Your Rage, which is this guy, any of these streamers' careers compared now to a year before now was even half the size. Okay? Maybe Jason, but Ron was coming up too, right? Now, no, it wasn't Jason. It was Ron. Maybe Ron. So, why am I saying this? Imagine you and your homies join a organization. And if y'all were at 25 in terms of a level, the organization brings all of y'all to 75. It triples your audience. It triples the money you're making. It exponentially, let's not say exponentially, but it drastically increases the eyeballs, the attention that is given to you. Okay? Also, the idea, which we all know streaming, somebody said this recently. I think Max said it recently. Streaming dominated. This wasn't a year for music. This was about streaming this year. Things that Kai Snat did, Max did, DDG did, Speed did, Aiden did. That's what dominated more of the bigger topics this year than what musicians did. That's a fact. I've said before, and I continue to say, I think musicians played themselves. They are partially responsible for why streaming is so big. Every rapper thirsted over collabs once they seen these numbers. Some of that wasn't even authentic. They brought their audience over to the streamers. And what happens is their audience who want content all day. Keep in mind, musicians drop music infrequently, seldomly. When you bring them to a streamer who streams for 4 to 5 hours a night, 4 to 5 weeks, or 4 to 5 nights a week, a lot of those fans just stayed. Those are the people these days, the average fan is scrolling TikTok anyway. They want content. Yeah, they listen to music, but they want content. So musicians brought their fans to the streamers, and the fans stayed. Also, the fans kind of fuck with the fact that streamers come across as regular. Rappers, they're still trying to be mythical, and that kind of loses this engagement, right? Especially when these days you can see through their life. It's different, like a Playboy Cardi, you don't know what he's doing. But some of these rappers, like Fabio Foreign and the Little Teaser, you're like, bro, you're not that cool. Like, that's what people kind of come across with their mindset. So the streamers has finessed a huge audience that will tune into them. Okay, let's advance the story. And I'm giving my opening soliloquy because I'm going to start playing clips and I'm going to try to not jump in as much. Collaborations have worked for streamers. So all of these guys you see in this picture, they were in content houses. They lived together. They would be like, yo, they're all streaming together. They would walk into the other person's room and just combine streams, and people would be like, hey, do a prank on him, and oh shit, how about y'all go on a double date? And it was great. Collaborations people like to see. I mean, hey, listen, we got to just call a spade a spade. That's kind of part of the reason. I know some of y'all don't like when I do IRLs, but it does bring you into a different realm. Yeah, people want to. It's one thing me and Aiden get on Discord. It's another thing if you see me and him at the warehouse and we're doing like prison stream or we're doing like some other stream or, it for whatever reason, it turns things into the fans' own reality show. You get these characters that you like for whatever reason. Maybe Lacey's your guy. Maybe Max is your guy. But if you could just throw them in the mix and just see what happens, the audience likes it. Same thing if you just throw a rapper. Hey, I wonder how Polo G would be with Max. Throw them together. See what happens. Now, this is going to be slightly of a cautionary tale. And it's a cautionary tale of corporate business never mixing with friendships. And a lot of times people not realizing that what you're watching, especially at the heights that you're normally talking about these creators with, it's nothing friendly about it. I will say this. Y'all know how we talk about Atlanta now? We're now realizing everybody was fake friends, not really cool, doing shicey shit to each other, or sweeping shit under the rug. That's what happens in the streaming world. If you do something, let's say bad, or you do A, if you get 30,000 viewers, everybody will forgive you. If you do something bad, or let's say you did the same thing A, and you get 500 viewers, everybody's killing you. It's a really cannibalistic Game of Thrones approach. Lacks loyalty. Everybody's doing it for the views. And everyone will portray something to make the audience feel like it's something, whether it's a fake relationship with a girl, fake friendship, fake brotherhood, whatever, that they could advance their viewership, build an audience. Now, none of that jives well when you have corporate interests at stake. So, I know I've talked a bit, but the too long to read version of this is mixing what's supposed to be friendship and business do not get along, especially at the end of the day, there's actually millions of dollars at stake in the background. So let me lay it out. Faze supposedly signs these guys. And this is from what I know. Faze, which I was skeptical of the whole thing from the get-go in the sense of I do business. And I don't know any business deal that you sign people and there is no way for you to make a return. So I heard these guys got signed. They're now in a content house, $100,000 a month. The house is paid for by Faze. Okay? They're having these big streams that require production, that require resources, that require staff, that requires a lot of other things. Faze is funding it and paying for it. These guys go from, and I'm making up arbitrary numbers, let's say they were making $1,000. Now they're making $10,000 in the span of a year. Now the whole time I'm saying, this seems like a sweet deal for the creators. You join an organization. Yeah, you make the organization cool again because you're doing your thing. But how the hell do they make money? I never got that from the get-go. How the hell does Faze make money? Like, in a record deal, yo, when you sell a record, I get some money. Now, it was told to me, yo, Faze signs these guys. These guys start making 10 times more, and they take none of the proceeds. Huh? That sounds odd. So you're investing in them for them to get 10 times bigger, but you take none of the proceeds. That don't sound too right. But here lies the problem. It appears that a year later, or a year and 5 months later, the organization would supposedly, or like through acquiring it and this and third, they're putting out a number $40 million. They have sneakily told the guys who are the creators, yo, we need to start taking 20%. We need this. Or, hey, listen, the rent is $100,000. We need $20,000 from you, brother. Now, what this has done is threw everything in a tailspin. And I'm a little confused by why. And this is why I say friendship and business can't mix. Because I did watch some of these guys talk before. They're flabbergasted that Faze wants to take their money. And I'm over here saying, why the hell you think they signed you? There is, in the history of a business deal, I've never seen people look at a business deal where you get 10 times bigger, make 10 times the amount of money, and you not give anything back to the person who invested in you. That's not how business goes. That's why I think this is interesting. Supposedly, they told Max, he left about 5 months ago, the organization. They told him, yo, we need 20 bands a month for you to live in the content house. He was living there previously for free. They said, we need that or we need some percentage. He said, deuces. Now, I want to be fair. There is a world where supposedly these guys were under the assumption, and I got to say, I wonder who their business managers are, but the assumption supposedly was the benefit to Faze is to make their brand hot again, and Faze they could come with sponsorships and they get a cut of the sponsorships. So Faze would bring sponsorships to them and they get a cut of the sponsorships. But if we know anything about deals and contracts, if they're not going to let you keep all the money to your music and be like, oh, we're just going to get you booked for shows. They want some money of the music. Anyway, and the music would be the streaming money. Anyway, that's as much as I know. I'm going to get through this and hopefully get through this pretty quickly. By the way, I got to get, I see Myron Gaines was on. He wanted to pop on. I don't know if he wanted to talk about this or something else, but see if we can get him on in a second. Let's see if we could kind of run through this really quickly. So Platboy Max kind of kicked it off. So all these guys left. They randomly left. All of them, Silky left. Everybody just said they left. All left Faze. It was like, all these guys said they left right here. These all of them. Left. Everyone, it was niggas that said they left that I didn't even know was in there. Okay? And here's the thing. So after this happened, Platboy Max went on stream. And when he had left 5 months ago, because everybody left like yesterday or the day before, he finally gave some more reason to why he left. Okay? Here we go.
Tells me, according to my assistant and my creative director at the time, who were sitting in on all calls because they're on my team, tell me I have to fire my manager and get rid of him, or I can't be here.
So he's giving a story. I'm giving you the things you're missing. He says Faze basically gives him a manager, which is also interesting. By the way, we see the same things happening in rap. The Migos sued QC because they said QC gave them a lawyer, then the lawyer basically negotiated for QC. So they're like, yo, what the hell? Y'all gave us someone that should be working for us, but they were really working for y'all. But it's always a conflict of interest when you have someone in a contract. It looked like it wasn't no real contract. It looked like it might have been a verbal contract, it seems, because we still haven't heard about what the deals of this contract is. But they then give this guy a manager, and then this guy kind of starts liking the manager. And I guess maybe the manager starts seeing, yo, this guy's a star. I'm going to just work for him and probably start doing things against the company's interests. Then the company tells him, either fire your manager or you're out of here.
when they're the person who introduced me. Video proof as well of this meeting. They were there. This is information my assistants are just telling me.
Now, I watched what Max said. And one of the concerning things about what he's saying, though, he keeps saying assistants and the staff telling him. I'm going to tell you why that's very concerning. Too many chefs in the kitchen always make a bad meal. A lot of information, you could tell there's people in the middle. And let me tell you, not to compare it to, I'm going to make a rap comparison no matter what. It's 6ix9ine and Shotty. Too many gang members in the mix. People going to get in your ear. Everybody, 6ix9ine's bringing a lot of money. Yeah, everybody got to break it down. You know what Shotty says? Man, fuck them niggas. I'm going to be the closest to 6ix9ine. He gets in 6ix9ine's ear, poisons 6ix9ine's mind about the rest of the crew. You don't need them niggas. So that's something I'm a little bit weary about when I hear Max says my assistants or the team or these people tell me. If you're not having a first-hand experience, these middle people could be playing y'all against each other. Because you know why? I've always said this. Yo, you manage one of these streamers, you bring them a fucking, like I even said this, right? Like, say Aiden. You manage Aiden? Aiden supposedly got $200 million from RainBet. Bro, 20% of that's $40 million. You know how you think people ain't playing these cutthroat Game of Thrones games when if you could manage these dudes or get them away from a bigger company, you think people ain't playing these games? What's an assistant making? $100,000? If you could get to be that person's motherfucking manager, that's millions of dollars. So that's why I'm weary. What do you mean these middle people are telling you? They're gonna already put your mindset in a place to go against the people who you're aligned in business with. Not defending anyone, but I take that to note. Just think about that.
Little townhouse. You see that little townhouse that Max was in? Faze. They tried to make that nigga pay 20 bands a month. What the fuck?
Now, I'm going to be honest with you. This was preposterous to me. They were, again, I don't know the full story, and we're going to play some stuff, and I know I'm still interrupting, but I'm kind of shocked that homie right here is basically saying, yo, they're forcing the millionaire to pay rent. Huh? Whoa, calm it down now. He was living for free in a $100,000 a month place, and he increased the money he's making tenfold. And after he increased his personal wealth, they said, you know what? Maybe we should stop paying your rent. Could you just pay 20? I don't know. I don't know how shocking that is to say you should. Hey, and Max is, you know, he's making a lot of money. He doesn't give me the squatter boys vibes, but paying the rent doesn't sound too crazy to me.
Or give a percentage of myself. What the fuck?
Now, again, with the percentage, we talked about that. It's like almost these guys are like, yo, they want us to do a deal? Yeah, that's why do you think you joined Faze Clan? They want a percentage. Every business deal goes like that. If I invest, I expect a return. We're not a bank. If I invest $100,000, I don't want $100,000 back. I want $1 million. If I invest $100,000 and you make $10 million, I want 10% of that. 1 million. That's how it goes. They're in shock. Oh.
But Max is such a good nigga. He just, yo, bro, I just want to. And now niggas like Max look crazy, look like egoed out niggas. No, that shit not cool though. Like niggas taking shit on the chin, making him look like this nigga the ego monster. Niggas don't.
Okay, I'll just say paying rent is not out. That's normal.
Whatever FBD's talking about, that happening. is what made me realize, damn, it's time for me to man up. And if I want to be what I one day want to be or plan on being, I got to bet on myself. No matter what happens to me or what niggas might try to do. So yeah, as y'all know, I ended 365 shortly after moving into the new house. I'm gonna be honest, bro. Like, me ending 365 gang, I was just burnt, bro. There's too much going on, behind the scenes shit, streaming every day.
Yeah, it could be mentally fucked up.
Gang, imagine starting 365. You starting somewhere, you streaming every day. You have your team, and then 7 days into it, niggas tell you, nah, give me your manager. Fuck that nigga, he's out. Now I gotta scramble and figure shit out. And you know, niggas did help me figure shit out, but it's like, fuck, bro. You know?
Yeah, Max started a really ambitious goal at the beginning of the year. He wanted to stream every day of the year. And I'm not gonna lie, I think Kai is even saying it now. Man, that's tough. That's just tough. Like, you know, again, Kai, look what Kai said recently. He says, as I was very consistent in streaming, there were certain times I realized I was losing touch of reality. I needed to take a step back and fully reset if I wanted. If I started to realize I wasn't even spending time with close friends and family behind the scenes as much as I wanted to. Hey, chat, this is what I told you. I told you from the get-go. Kai having a girlfriend and Kai making like $100 million or 200, whatever he's made at this point, probably has put life in perspective to realize, bro, yes, you could just keep chasing, like, because watching that dollar amount, after a while, it stops. You get numb to it. And the time that he probably spends with his girlfriend is invaluable. Makes him feel like a person, like a man. He feels like he's cared for. And that's the thing. You know, the audience loves their creator, but the more y'all are together, it's an unhealthy relationship because the creator usually has to sacrifice their life with their significant others, right? Like it's only gonna last so long where he doesn't have a girlfriend. He only cares about his chat. He's just going. Yeah, at a point where money is not the motive anymore, you feel like you're not living. And I think now I feel like he's living. The nigga look like he's, you know, he looked like he's a French poet. And he's with this girl. He seems very happy. He stays out of the way. I think he's learned a lot about spending time. Okay. Let's get back to Max.
He really got kicked from Faze.
He's talking about Lacey now.
He got kicked from Faze because, according to the assistants and the staff and the cameramen, they said that he had missed it.
Again, I keep saying this. According to the middle order people, I don't like that because I'm telling you, that's how, when an organization gets too big, that's how they get in people's ear.
Video shoot or something. And we were missing video shoots. And so he actually got kicked from Faze. Granted, he was allowed back in a couple, later, because niggas all had convos, but yes, he got kicked from Faze. So my point of this is to tell y'all this. We had no control. There was no control.
Now, I do want to pause and just say, welcome to wanting streaming to be $100 million business. Yes, if we have a $500,000 shoot with Call of Duty or Powerade, and our creator is supposed to be there because we signed this huge deal. Yes, you got to show up on time. Yes, you have to do these things. If you don't do these things, yes, we might have to remove you from the organization. To me, that is very normal. Again, I think the FaZe Clan guys, their audience is young. So they're hearing this thing and be like, wow, this is unfair. No, it ain't. You signed up to be with this clan that's going to exploit your likeness and your presence and your name online to get brand deals. They get a brand deal. They got to shoot some shit with you. Maybe you got to hold a Sprite in your hand or whatever. You got to show up on time. this is the very nature of getting into a corporatized business where you're also getting promoted on a corporate level. You're getting blasted with promo all over the place.
Or it's like with puppets. At least that's what it felt like. You get what I'm saying? Anything could happen at any moment. Bro, like,
see, that's the interesting thing. Puppets, because I always hear that. Somebody feels like a puppet. You feel like a puppet because you actually have to do things that is required as per a deal? Or do you feel like a puppet where you can't be yourself and you felt like you're now being controlled wholly? I would probably guess the second part. But let's see.
Lacey love Faze. This nigga campaign for this shit. This nigga go hard as fuck. Like, hard as fuck. Like, how can that happen, bro? Right? Cool. It come time, y'all know the whole war happened, etc. Right? And then we had Faze Camp. I'm not gonna lie, for the past like 2 months, I was on some shit like, damn. Like, am I really gonna leave? Am I gonna stay? Bro, I'm not gonna lie, I was like just on the fence with it because at the end of the day, I fuck with these niggas. But we don't own this shit. We don't. And we don't have control over our careers as much as we should have. Why? So I'm gonna be honest, bro. That whole Faze Camp happened. When we went to Faze Camp, I called up, I ring Yaya, I ring, you feel me? Yo, bro, move my shit out.
Yes. And I'm saying to all the streamers here, and I'm sorry, I know I keep pausing. I'm about to add Myron on also in a while. Oh, he wants to add commentary on this. I want to say to the streamers, it sounds attractive that you get to a certain level, but I have to use Kai as an example. I hope Kai doesn't think he's a puppet, but you can't be in Kai's position without being told a little bit what to do. And what I mean by what to do, not what to stream or what to think, but I could imagine with some of the recent stuff his friends has been accused of or, involved with, I'm pretty sure there's going to be a corporate brand or an agent that says to Kai, cut these niggas off. That's not being a puppet. That's saying, what are you going to choose? You could choose your own autonomy and go your separate way, but you're going to go down the rung. Or if you want to stay up here and we're going to keep getting you shit with Nike and all this shit, you need to leave them niggas alone. I don't know if that's being a puppet. They're giving you, it's the blue pill, red pill shit. Do you want the money? If you want the money, them niggas is fucking up the money. Get them out of here. Oh, that was your day one from the mud? That's my heart? Well, my heart could be my ex-heart. Get that nigga out of here. That's just the reality of things, right? With these, when you get to that level, you have to be pretty pristine in how you're moving, how you're presenting yourself. You got to be professional. And that doesn't jive with streamer culture that comes across as immature because it's mostly relating towards a teenage audience. Immature. Part of the great thing about streaming is very spontaneous. It removes all of that. It turns to contrived things that kind of will overall come across, maybe to you as a creator, as corny. But what do you want? Nike's not going to try to stand with you if they're like, yeah, he could just bug the fuck out. Like, I ain't gonna lie, that's one of the things that I've known that I've always risked. I mean, I've been on business meeting calls with my agent and shit, like, they're like, yo, we want to do this deal. You want to give you the money. But we want to make sure you're not going to bug out one time and just say, fuck this and go off the rails, maybe even about us. And with me, I don't go off on past partners. I don't do that, right? Like, or I don't go off on people I'm in a contract with, right? That's the Joe Budden method, right? But still, when people are going to give you a lot of money, they kind of want to make sure they could kind of like gauge how you're going to behave. So to a creator, that might come across as you're being controlled. Yes, if you think you're being funny and you post a provocative joke and you're in contract or you have a big agent working for you to get tens of millions or maybe just millions of dollars, they might call your phone and say, nigga, take that down. Now, take it down. Now, take it down. To the point, yes, it gets to the point where it's like, They might have your login. They'll delete it. It's not being controlled. You've picked what you wanted to pick. You're not going to have all these deals where you want to have your own meal and you're wilding out. These things are kind of natural.
After Faze Camp, I'm leaving. And I'm going to be totally honest, bro. Now that I'm here, I want to sit here and at least apologize publicly to my boys because it caught them very off guard. But the reason I did this was because I needed to make a decision and stand on it. I knew if I had niggas move shit out, there's no going back. I needed to make this decision and not have any return. You get what I'm saying? So, yeah. Niggas move all the shit out. We come back, you feel me? I told them morning of. Either morning of or day before. And I told them niggas, like, I literally remember sitting outside on the guest house. I was with K-Son. I was with Ron. I think Silk.
So he abruptly left, and now he's reacting to other people leaving. Okay, the next part of this, and I think I'm going to add Myron in for some commentary. Twitter.com/ oh, we'll just look up. So Faze Banks had a response, right? Banks, I think it's just Banks. We could just see his response. And he had two responses. So he had a 20-minute version. Why Platboy Max left Faze. And his first response was this. And we're gonna try to get through this. But let me call Myron to have some commentary. And the reason I'm calling Myron too, it's important. It's really important to me that we look at this with the lens of being a businessman. And I understand everybody has their and everyone's community is like all about this fandom, and they think streaming is just this simple thing. But I'm here to tell you, these guys have millions of dollars of deals available to them at all times. And what that does is that it puts them in a place where they're like the NBA player. Y'all seen that the NFL player that slapped somebody? Yes. There's much ramifications to any action you take. So for you to think that, oh, your favorite streamer is just like, just chilling. Yeah, but if he's making millions of dollars, he's probably a corporate guy. He has to be a corporate guy sometimes. What y'all don't know about me, right? All right, let's go to, and this is why I love where I'm at now. When I had to do 2 to 3 meetings a week with Spotify, 2 to 3 meetings. Yo, okay, how's this week? Let's talk about numbers. Let's do this. It's a lot. Like, okay, we got this strategy. Okay, cool. We're gonna get you at Rolling Loud. Like, yo, we're working on this. Okay, cool. Cause your team submit this. Yo, it's a lot. Hey, we're working with this sponsor. They go down mad sponsors. These people want to come sponsor the show. How about this? Are you down to do it? It's a lot. So when you see a nigga come on stream or you see a nigga do a podcast and everything seems so like, oh, this is just like, no, there's so much business behind this. And that's why I think these streaming guys don't let y'all see. Like Kai Cenat, I would imagine that nigga is on calls. His business managers, his assistants. There is probably nothing like, yo, I just got up out of bed and streamed. It's very organized, very prepared. There's millions of dollars at stake. Anyway, let's go to Banks. I'm going to put this at 1.5 speed. I called Myron. He didn't answer.
Christmas from Banks, formerly known as Faze Banks. What a fucking terrible day. What a terrible year. I left Faze 5 months ago. And this wasn't for a narrative. This wasn't for the camera. This wasn't for Twitter.
Okay, I hate to have paused, but I got to say this too. I got to tell the truth about everybody. Banks left right after Max left, and he's like the founder or the owner. He left because they were accusing him of doing some rug coin shit. So like some fake crypto scam shit. Some shit that Aiden Ross had gotten like caught up in. And Aiden basically was like, yo, Banks is a nigga who told me to do this shit. Like, it ain't me. And people looked at Banks like, yo, bro, you're doing a scummy scammer shit. And he was getting so much backlash. He had like his defense to it, but he was getting so much backlash being the face of Faze at the time. He chose to step down and step away, that the guys could not have like a stain on their reputation. So that's what he's talking about leaving 5 months ago.
It was very, very real. It was off the heels of some Twitter drama, and the boys were, getting blown up in their comms and in their chats. And as we all know, in this world, wacky, strange world of streaming, that's really all that matters. These streamers, all of them, every last one of them, are forced to appeal to their comms and their chats and narratives on Twitter. And if they don't, they lose viewers. If they don't, they take a hit financially to their career. And this has a huge effect on who their friends are, who they're in relationships with, all of it, everything. The way they treat each other online is completely 100% based and rooted in the feedback that they get in real time from chats and comms. So again, as somebody, an old man, 34 years old, you guys never let me forget it, who no longer makes content, who doesn't have a stream, who doesn't have his own platform, it's impossible for me to create a narrative or control my narrative or really respond. Not that I really give a fuck to anyways, but yeah, all this drama is created, and we get on a call 5 months ago and the guys are like, listen, we're over the drama. We think it's best if you just like publicly step down from Faze, just to cool down the drama online. I reacted very emotionally to this. I was obviously took it very personally and was offended because, again, I used my entire network, every dollar that I've ever made, everything that I've ever had, this brand that I built, I used all of it as leverage to start these guys as a content group and to kick this shit off with the sole goal and intent to bring Faze back to the top, which we did. We did that all collectively. Over the last 2 years, Faze has won Org of the Year twice. And yeah, I was the first guy in the room. These guys would have never lived in a house together if it wasn't for me. These guys are all at minimum 10 times the size in terms of audience and platform now as before they joined Faze. These guys have all made millions and millions and millions of dollars in the last 2 years, and none of them could ever dispute the fact. Max just said it himself on his stream. Joining Faze was one of the best decisions I ever made in my life. I've heard that from Lacey. I've heard it from Silky. I've heard it from Jason. I've heard it from Ron. I've heard it from Adapt. I've heard it from every single person that's ever joined Faze, specifically these guys. And I'm here to tell you, as former Faze Banks, this was one of the worst decisions I've ever made in my entire life. I gave up my entire adult life to this. I have put myself in millions and millions and millions of dollars in debt. I have never made not one singular dollar outside of my salary via Faze. Not selling it, not buying it, raising money. I've just put myself further and further in debt. Yeah, I think Faze to acquire and all the costs for these guys' careers over the last 2 years, I think ballpark $40 million.
Wow. And it is important that I believe that number. I think he bought it back for $15 million. I think there was a co-owner. I think him and the owner of DraftKings, Matt Kalshi or something like that, they bought Faze back for like $15 million or $20 million. And it went public at the time and the stock dropped and they essentially bought it out. And by the way, he's going to address these things, but he said these guys had free housing, free filmers, free staff, so free production, all the Faze channel, and there was zero income shared. That sounds like the best deal ever.
And I think probably collectively these guys have had to have probably made like 20 million in the last 2 years collectively, I would guess. And not $1 of that 20 million has ever gone back to Faze. Never mind me. Even if it did ever go back to Faze, that shit, it's not mine. And I just fucking can't believe it. I can't believe I'm in this position now where people are calling for my head. People are wishing for my death. People are telling me I ruined Faze. I ruined Faze, guys. I ruined it. When I have had not one say in anything that's gone on in the last 5 months, and I set all this shit in motion in the first place, I ruined it. I ruined it. There's 5, 6 individuals who are multimillionaires and have beautiful careers ahead, and God bless you, and I wish you guys the best, and I ruined it. Yeah. The fact of the matter is, if we went in a time machine 2 years back and I decided to never try to fix this Faze shit, I'd be much better off. I'd have more money, and these kids would just be doing what they were doing before. It's hard for me to sit here and take that. It really is. And I plan on going live tomorrow or the next day at some point in the future and really kind of just laying it all out. A to Z, start to finish.
By the way, someone told me Max just put up a post, and I'm gonna read it rather than wait for the end to read it because it's reiterating what I just said. So he just put this up 54 minutes ago. He says, because Banks made 2 responses. We're on the first one. There's another response that we got to get to. But he's responding to everything. He says, I joined Faze at 20. I respected Banks. After I left Faze, Banks would call me saying I needed him. And my career was falling off. He took advantage on the fact that I was depressed and in the hospital. At one point, I let all the calls get to me and asked to join Faze again. Wow. But I kept going, and in November, I was introduced to a manager who helped me realize that a lot of things he told me were lies. Chat, didn't I tell y'all? It's always the middle people that realize, yo, listen, why the hell am I? Yeah, I'm working for Faze as quote-unquote a manager. They're not getting percentage. They're like, if I get Max away from Faze and I'm his manager, I make a lot more money. It's always the middle people. But the same thing that happened with Meg Thee Stallion and 1501. This person named T. Farris was given to Meg by Carl Crawford, the owner of 1501, to kind of like be the day-to-day person with them. They get close to Meg and start saying, Meg, why you even fuck with these guys? Meg leaves 1501. You know who she keeps? T. Farris. You know what's happening here? Sounds like the same thing. They give Max a manager. That manager gets in Max's ear like, yo, bro, these niggas is finessing you, bro. Like, why the fuck are you fucking with these Faze niggas? Let's get out of here. Yo, bro, we could make mad more money on our own. Yo, I got all the contacts. Yo, these brands still want to work with you. I got the contacts. We could just get it directly. Them niggas is taking 50% of the brand money. Yo, you more lit than the rest of these niggas anyway. Let's get out of here. Fuck them niggas. They're robbing you. It's always the middle people, I'm telling you. Okay. So it says the manager helped him realize a lot of things he was told were lies. I've since leaving working with bigger guests and brands and have 2026 plan that's only bigger than what I've accomplished so far. Thank you. I love you guys. Pray every day and follow your heart. See you soon. And he says, Prince. Okay. Let's go back to Banks.
Entire 15-year history of this, specifically the last 2 years, specifically the behind-the-scenes shit and the dynamic between all the kids in the back end. Because I just watched some clips from this Black Boy Max stream where he's playing a laugh track over my tweet, and it's like,
now that's the clip I didn't play, but he had tweeted, "Yo, everybody leaving has nothing to do with me." This is what Banks tweeted. He said, "It has nothing to do with me. I left 5 months ago." And Max looked at the tweet, and then he played a laughing thing while he's looking at tweets. He didn't say nothing, but he played like a sound effect, laughing. So that's what Banks is reacting to.
Max, I know we've had like our individual differences, and I know I haven't really seen eye to eye with a lot of the talent because truthfully and honestly, I find you guys all to be incredibly ungrateful. I find you guys all to have insane egos, and I think it's disgusting and makes me sick to my stomach that your guys' relationships with each other and with every other streamer and your community included is so incredibly fake. You guys are the best actors on planet Earth, and you've made a complete career out of all of it.
Wow, he's turning up a notch now. So he's accusing Max and the rest of those guys, and I think people thought there was like a family aspect to Faze. He's saying it's all fake. All this shit is fake. Okay? Kelvin Collector, thank you for the 5.
Max, these are your boys, but these are the same guys that said they fucking hated your guts after you left. And, you know, you're the program, and you have an ego the size, you think you're Travis Scott and this and that. And also, like, Max, multiple conversations about how Ron's content's cringe, and you guys didn't fuck with Adapt. None of you guys fucked with Lacey or Jason in the beginning. You guys didn't want these guys to live anywhere near you. You barely wanted to share a brand with them. But Faze was going to find the Miami house for you, Rage, Silky, and Kason, so fuck it. We'll take what we can get. And then it all worked, and we forced this relationship.
So, you know, we've seen this before, chat. I could name you 7, actually over 10, rapper and Instagram or like rapper Instagram influencer relationship that were completely fake, or sometimes rapper and rapper relationship that were fake. Ruby Rose did a couple of those where, hey, let's do fake relationships. And now, granted, that's like a man and a woman, but like it goes to show in the streaming world, they also fake friendships, which that's kind of crazy, right? Like, let's fake be friends because your audience would start liking me and my audience would start liking you. Let's fake it. Wow.
And I was called a fucking retard then, and I was told then I was ruining Faze, and now 2 years later, it wound up being the best thing that ever happened. So you understand why I'm sitting here and I'm frustrated. I would hope anyone watching could sit here and understand why I would be frustrated while a fucking entire hate mob is coming after me on fucking Christmas, my first Christmas without my mom, when all I've ever fucking wanted to do is help Faze be successful. That's all I've ever wanted to do. That's the only intent. Where's the money? I'm this fucking guy who's trying.
Now, Banks, I rock with you, but your name is Banks. Your name is Banks. And unfortunately, we've seen your name like for a nigga who we know is way up, and you got a lot of money. And you say you put $40 million on some shit. We seen your name with too much finesses though. Like, stop it, Banks. Like, Banks, this whole like, yo, I gave y'all all the money. I never was trying to earn nothing. Banks, cut it out, man. I love you, but cut it out, man. Stop it. Stop it, bro. You know what I mean? Like, we've heard your name with a couple things where you fleecing niggas. You know what I mean? So let's not act like you're just like this philanthropic, holistic type of, I'm trying to do this for the community guy. Like, you're about that bag too.
Trying to take everything from everybody. Where is it? Then why the fuck am I millions of dollars in debt? Where is it? It's in Black Boy Max's bank account. It's in fucking Silky's bank account.
Damn.
It's in Jason, Ronaldo, Lacey's bank account.
Oh, shit. Okay.
I wish this never happened. I wish that I never did any of this. And they'll all still tell you this was the best decision they ever made in their life. I'm emotional and I'm passionate. I'm never going to apologize for that. Anything that I do, anything that I speak on, anything that I work on, any talent that I fuck with, anything that I touch, I will always be 100% 2 feet in. That's just who I am. And everything that I'm telling you guys right now is fucking straight facts. It's dead wrong, bro. This is unfair. It's unfair to drag me like this. It's unfair to pin me as some fucking horrible guy. Again, the fact of the matter is, every single one of these guys has a bigger platform and an audience because they joined Faze and met me, and has millions and millions of extra dollars because they met me.
Well, now we got to talk accountability. Well, Banks, you know why you and Faze look shitty? Because Faze went corporate, died off because it went public. You bought it, and you made it seem like, yo, I'm bringing back the gang. And you got these new faces, and yes, you guys did amazing things for their career. But you had a partner in buying back Faze, and your partner was on some corporate shit. This owner of, like, look, owner of Faze. His name is Matt Kalish. He's the founder of DraftKings. He was a major stakeholder and investor in Faze with 49%, right? He invested $11 million. And essentially what happened is that, yes, this new buyback of Faze after their stock went down had Banks as the face, but y'all know what this is. You have Jay-Z as the face, but the business guys is hoping the guy who's the face could get this shit corporatized that we could suck some more money out of this junk, right? So Banks, like, with all due respect, you get into this deal with these guys, and you're just saying, nah, fuck with y'all, I love y'all. So you don't say up front, this is a corporate business that you guys are joining. We need 20%. So you don't tell none of these guys you need 20%. You make it seem like they're your fam. You love them. You're doing this to restore Faze because it's in your heart. You know what they say, no good deed goes unpunished. So yes, even though I think the creators, they're businessmen as well. They should never join something and not realize how y'all going to get paid. But you get them in there by saying, nah, yeah, I fuck with y'all. Then a year later, y'all like, I bet. So now y'all ready to give us 20%? Yes, some of them feel I'm blindsided, even though I think they're naive business-wise for not thinking or expecting that convo was going to come. You brought them in with it's like when Jay-Z got us signed for Tidal. Then he sold Tidal. You got them to all sign up for Faze, and I guarantee y'all would have sold Faze. And supposedly you sold your shares or you sold your stock in Faze 5 months ago when you left. So that's the whole gig.
Whereas I, on the other hand, have lost years of my life to this shit and am significantly worse off financially. Significantly. This has destroyed me. My whole life has been completely destroyed in the last 4 or 5 months, but nobody gives a fuck because I don't have a Twitch chat. And I refuse to be one of the people to just do what you guys are telling me to do. I don't know, guys, this streaming shit is so fucking fried. It really is. The narratives, the clips, the fucking say that the sky is red and they disagree and they say, no, Chad, I think it's blue.
Now, he starts explaining this thing about like streaming communities, and I actually absolutely agree with him on this one.
These are the most heavily influenced people and their will on millions of people, but it's not true. It's the exact opposite. The The traditional influencer is dead. These kids are the most heavily influenced
I agree.
people on the planet. They are
I agree.
puppets attached to millions of strings. And if their comms and their fucking chats say that the sky is red and they disagree and they say, no, chat, I think it's blue. I think it's blue. Once that fucking viewer number starts to fall off, once they start to see L's in their chat, once they start to see hate threads in their fucking comms, they switch up real quick and it doesn't matter.
There's two creators that come to mind that I think is the exception of they're not led by their chat. Only two that come to mind are Aiden Ross and Bruce Drop 'Em Off. I'm trying to think of other creators. Maybe I'm forgetting someone, but the rest of these creators, if their audience says your opinion should be this, or you should feel like this, or you should do this, they rock with it. That's what they do. I've been notorious. I love my audience, but listen, we're on some Blueface shit. This is the program. Y'all on the program. Stop playing now. They don't be in the chat, but we on the program. Stop playing. I'm not going to allow y'all to tell me what to think. Y'all are allowed to disagree. And y'all clearly always tell me, yo, I can't believe you did that. Yo, you a bozo for doing that. That's fine. That's healthy. But me evaluating how I feel based on how y'all feel about what I should feel just doesn't seem right. That's the majority of creators.
It doesn't matter about objective truth. It's the sky is red. I've been trying to talk to these guys for
So Illuminati too. So Illuminati. Yeah, but so Illuminati doesn't go live as much.
4 or 5 months. And they don't give a fuck. All they care about is their stream, which is completely fine. I don't need them to give a fuck. I don't need anybody to pretend to care. I'm done pretending to care. But if I had 100,000 viewers, if my name was Kai Cenat, they'd fucking be on my dick. They'd be welcoming me with open arms. I would have had a big fucking red comfy chair at the Streamer Awards to fucking, hey, come fuck with us, bro. Let's do a stream tomorrow. Like, that's just what it is. And you guys know that's what it is. And anybody arguing against that is just fucking completely lost. These relationships are fucking fraudulent. It's fucking fried, bro. It's fucking fried. And I'm happier than ever to be going my separate way. And I'm glad that what happened 5 months ago. I'm happy to be off of it. There is no future for me in Faze. There is none. That was my last try. That was it. There's nothing, I have nothing left to give this. I gave it my entire adult life and I tried my hardest. And for anybody who's a fan of me and anybody who's a fan of Faze, I'm sorry, I've absolutely failed you. And the one thing I'm perfectly okay with taking accountability for is being the root cause of all of this. Because at the end of the day, I am. This is, in a fucking twisted way, all my fault. Because at the end of the day, I put these guys in a room. At the end of the day, I went and raised money. I convinced, these business people that this vision and these guys were a good bet to take. I thought in good faith that, if we gave people careers, if we fucking gave everybody the best resources and this shit worked, then everything else will figure itself out.
Yo, Banks, come on, bro. I thought if I convinced y'all to join because y'all are homies, when y'all start making a lot of money, y'all will have no problem paying off the $40 million that we invested in y'all. Banks, come on, bro. Let me just say this one more time. I thought if I could convince the people joining that we're just doing it for the love of streaming and we want to restore Faze, and I invest with my partners $40 million in this, that when y'all now get successful, y'all gonna be like, man, they put $40 million in. Nah, come on, let's pay them back. Let's get them their money back. Come on, guys, everybody, hey, come on, let's take 30%. When the fuck has that happened? Is Banks on crack?
And I'm so fucking naive and retarded to have not made sure everything was fucking better articulated and solidified and just like people were on the same page. I don't know, man. I failed miserably. It's not the first L that I'm taking in my life. It's not the first time I failed. But
okay. Now, he goes into this response because the Max stuff I played was after this. Actually before, but Max did speak about him. And Max is the only one being vocal currently about this, right? And he went into some further, and I haven't seen this yet, but he went into some further details about why supposedly Max left Faze. Again, I'm playing this more for the business aspect more than I care about the interpersonal relationships. Because, again, streaming is a billion-dollar industry at this point. The rap music industry brought in about, let's look it up. How much did music industry make in 2024? $36 billion. Okay? Made $36 billion. This year, for a fact, streaming is a $1 billion industry. Why am I saying that? Y'all ever been to, Universal got offices all over the place. You ever been to Universal in New York? You ever been to Atlantic? Oh, Atlantic, they be getting new spots. They got 2 floors in the building. You ever been to Sony? Oh, my God. Yo, you ever seen Capitol? You ever seen the Capitol building? You ever seen Capitol Records? It's a landmark in L.A. You can even knock it down. Big-ass building. Hey, the point of what I'm saying is that, I always heard this saying, when I would wide-eye and bushy-tail, pause, I don't even know what bushy-tails mean. I walk into these casinos with my little money back when I used to tell you, I used to gamble like damn near my whole little $600 check and I had like a job. And someone would say to me, you see this beautiful ass casino, these marble floors you're walking on, look at these high ceilings, glass everywhere. How you think they built this shit? Because I would win sometimes $2,000. I'm like, yes, I'm going to get these niggas bankrupt. And they would always remind me, you think all this shit was built because niggas like you kept winning? If you ever see what record labels got going on, and that's $1 billion business. The point of what I'm saying when it comes to streaming, this ain't just a we kicking in our bedroom thing. It's $1 billion business now. This is very corporatized. Very. I could tell you how corporatized this is because I remember the reason why I signed with, I didn't sign, but they do represent me for podcasts, UTA. So United Talent Agency is my agent for podcasts. They're the one who got my deal done with Spotify. And podcast-related stuff, they would handle it, right? The reason why I went with them, they represented Call Her Daddy. At that time, podcasting was a very new place. UTA is a talent agency that works with actors, a lot of actors, mostly movies, television folks. They also work with musicians, okay? They work with speakers, politicians. When I went to UTA, their guy over there, and shout out to my man Oren, he was the lead guy. He's the one who did the Call Her Daddy deal. He was the top guy for podcasts that had UTA create a podcast division. They just created it. So I didn't go to CAA. I didn't go to WME. I went there because they were the best at doing podcast deals. Now, every agency has a podcast division. As of this year, every agency has a streaming division. What does that mean? They'll approach a streamer and say, hey, we could get you brand deals. You want your own meal? Like, I love when even Kai was explaining the whole thing. I heard about that deal. That deal was nothing about what, obviously he's not lying, but that deal was a corporatized deal. I talked to Guy, the dude at Rumble said when he was trying to sign Kai, and by the way, he did the deal with Kai and Speed. They didn't talk to Kai, they talked to an agent. They said there's 2 agents, Speed's agent and Kai's agent. This is very corporatized. This is nothing like you just call up Kai and be like, yo, what's up, man? You want to come to Rumble, bro? Yeah, no, what you want? Hell no. You talk to the agent gonna rough it out. Bring on the entertainment lawyer. Bring on the business manager. Bring on the manager. Bring on the brand partnership guy. There is so many people that get on before the creator even comes. Now, the creator should obviously greenlight it or not. That's the point of what I'm saying, how corporatized streaming is. And that's the problem with how these streamers kind of represent what's going on. They're representing it like it's just homies. We're all cool. We're friends. Oh, the reason why I didn't do that is because he ain't call my phone. No. It's a fucking business deal.
And over the last 2 years, those guys, me, all the staff, it's just being fucking completely shit on and stomped on right now. And I don't think anybody feels good about that. But the one person that jumped straight on the opportunity at the fucking first chance they got to jump right in the middle of it and farm it, Black Boy Max. You can always count on him. And wow. Max, I'm going to be talking to you directly.
Yeah, we got